What's up, YouTube? My name is Ty, financial advisor. Welcome to my channel. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. So here is AMTD Idea Group. This finishes at $6.25 today. That is down 10.71%.
And it's gone.
So we analyzed the stock yesterday because this was gamma squeezing. Prior to this company squeezing, HKD has been short squeezing for the past couple of days. And HKD is a subsidiary of AMTD. So AMTD started gamma squeezing in sympathy with the HKD squeeze. HKD is a Chinese fintech firm. They have their own metaverse, and they specialize in helping companies grow through investments and other resources. And AMTD is a Chinese investment bank. So, no company-specific news to justify this price action today. This just seems like some healthy pullback because this did moon very hard yesterday. I did say yesterday that this was probably due for some significant pullback, and it looks like that pullback is starting. This was number 1 on StockTwits yesterday, had over 11,000 mentions, and once again today this was number 1 on StockTwits. This had over 10,000 mentions. So this is going to be more or less the same from yesterday, just with the updated price action today. But alright, let's go ahead. Let's jump right in and analyze here. So first of all, we have a bull flag in the making here. No confirmation just yet, but here we have the flag pole. So all we would need is some pullback to form the flag, and that would be a bullish indicator that is telling us that the stock may break out to the upside once again, and that is the only bullish indicator. So now onto the bearish stuff. We do have a head and shoulders developing here. Back here a few days ago was the first shoulder. Yesterday, the head formed, and the second shoulder has not formed just yet, but that would be the next step. So the head and shoulders is a bearish indicator that is suggesting that the stock is due for a sell-off. And it's a pretty ugly head and shoulders, but still head and shoulders, just with some very short shoulders and a very long neck. And then we do have a gap up created yesterday at 230. So that's a bearish indicator that is telling us that the stock should come back down to 230 to fill that gap. And that gap should fill in the short term. And in the aftermarket here, this is pulling back down to 620. So if this aftermarket action holds, that would be a bearish indicator for tomorrow. That is suggesting that tomorrow the stock will sell off as well. And if you guys want to follow along, the link to the chart is in the description down below. So right now this is trading between the sideways channel, the rectangle of 640 and 560. So if this goes to the upside, next levels of resistance would be 640, 685, 725, 790, 855, 925, 1075, and then the high of 1290. 1290 is the all-time high, so no resistance above that. That would be uncharted territory. And if this goes to the downside, next levels of support would be 560, 535, 430, 410, 390, 375, 355, 335, 320, $3, 280, 265, 255, 240, 230, 220, $2, 185, 175, 155, 145, 125, 110, and then $1. $1 is the all-time low, so no support below that. That would be uncharted territory. So right now at the current price, $6.25. The channels to the upside and the downside are very wide, so expect significant price action either way this goes. However, if/when this breaks 430 to the downside, the channels start to narrow, so expect a significant decrease in price action if/when this breaks 430 to the downside. RSI is currently at 80, so that is pretty far in overbought and overvalued territory. So be careful, guys. It's not as bad as yesterday when the RSI was at 90, but still very dangerous here. And this did 83 million in volume today, which is the second biggest volume day ever for this stock after yesterday. Very significant volume. So the sell-off today was confirmed by the volume. And this is a significant pullback in volume from yesterday. So it does appear like this is starting to lose momentum and the squeeze is winding down and coming to an end. Okay, guys, just my opinion, not financial advice. So it was a good run. Massive gamma squeeze yesterday, trading in sympathy with HKD. But we're getting some pretty significant pullback today, quickly losing momentum. So this is starting to look very bearish in the short term. Again, way more bearish indicators than bullish indicators right now. And as with every short squeeze, it's going to have to come crashing down, just a matter of when, not if. And it appears like that time is now. So therefore, if you want to go long, not financial advice, 625 is a pretty bad entry. It's better than yesterday, when this was at 7, but still overbought, still overvalued, according to the RSI. This really shouldn't go too much more to the upside. This is a falling knife right now. Looks like it's going to pull back pretty hard. And again, this should come back down to 230 to fill the gap there. So from the current price of 625 down to 230, that would be over a 60% downside potential. So I would say going long here at the current price, 625 would be a high risk, medium reward play. I say high risk because, again, over a 60% downside potential. And I say medium reward play because this technically is still short squeezing. Apes are still in here, so anything can happen. Although it is unlikely that this keeps squeezing to the upside. So yeah, 625 is really not a good entry. If you're a little patient here, you should be able to get this back at 230 where the gap is, and I think that would be an excellent entry. Really shouldn't go too much lower than 230. There's some very critical support below there. Gonna take a lot of selling pressure to break those supports, and there's massive upside potential in the longer term. So I would say going long at 230 would be a low risk, high reward play. Definitely worth a shot, in my opinion. So I don't like the current entry of 625, but I can support going long at 230 where the gap is. And if it pulls back, then you can just average down at the supports that I mentioned before. Now, if you want to go short now, financial advice, looks like a pretty good play to me. You missed some downside today, but still massive downside to go here. So once again, a lot of bearish indicators here. Looks like the squeeze is winding down, coming to an end, losing momentum. So this looks like it's due for some pretty significant pullback. Again, this should come back down to 230 to fill the gap, over a 60% downside potential. So I would say going short here would be a medium risk, high reward play. Definitely worth a shot in my opinion. I say medium risk, again, because technically this is still short squeezing, so anything can happen, although unlikely. And I say high reward play because, again, over a 60% downside potential. So as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure here, you should be able to make some pretty fat money here to the downside. So I can support going short at the current price, 625 and higher. And again, I would cover at 230 where the gap is. So pretty straightforward, guys. This stock gamma squeezed yesterday in sympathy with the HKD short squeeze, but it was pretty short-lived. We're getting some pretty big pullback today, and it appears like the squeeze is winding down and coming to an end. And the stock is starting to look pretty bearish at this point. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. 625 is a really bad entry. You're probably going to get burned if you go long here. This is currently a falling knife, and if you're a bit patient, you should be able to get this back at 230 where the gap is. I think that would be an excellent entry. So I don't like the current entry of 625, but I can support going long at 230 and lower, and if it pulls back, then you can just average down at these supports that I mentioned before. And if you want to go short, not financial advice, looks like a pretty good play at the moment. You missed some downside today already, but still massive downside to go. Looks pretty bearish at the moment. Again, this should fill the gap at 230 in the short term, which is over a 60% downside potential. So I can support going short at the current price, 625 and higher. And again, I would cover at 230 where the gap is. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today. Consider taking profits if you're up, not financial advice. And good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is AMTD Idea Group. So here is HKD AMTD Digital. This finishes at $1,100 today. That is down 34.48%. So we can't really do a full TA on this stock because there's not much data to go off of, but I'll just quickly give my professional opinion here. So yeah, the stock has been short squeezing for the past few weeks. Nuclear MOAS here. Went all the way from $12 to over $2,500. So this was due for some very significant pullback. It was going to come crashing down, just a matter of when, not if. And today it's starting to crash. And it looks like there's going to be a lot more downside to go here in the short term. So it's hard to make a price prediction because there aren't many indicators to go off of. But just based on my personal experience, this is typically how an IPO trades. They moon/squeeze in the beginning, and over the course of a few months, they tend to pull back, usually even further than the IPO price. So just looking at this chart, I would say this easily comes back down to at least 100, and probably even a lot lower than that. So if you want to go long, not financial advice, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. That would be straight up FOMO at this point. Really bad idea. It's a falling knife right now, and you're going to get burned. You missed your chance. At this point, just resist FOMO. So I don't like the current entry of $1,100, but I can support going long anywhere at $100 and lower. Personally, I would set my buy orders to $12. But yeah, going long at $1,100 would be high risk, high reward, I would say. And going long at $12 would be low risk, high reward. And if you want to go short, not financial advice, looks like an excellent play to me. You missed massive downside potential here today, but there's still a lot more downside to go. Again, I think this is going to pull back to at least $100, probably even more. So from the current price of $1,100 down to $100, that would be over a 90% downside potential. So massive downside potential here in the short term. I would say going short at the current price, $1,100, would be a medium risk, high reward play. I say medium risk because this technically is still squeezing. The apes are still in here, so anything can happen, but pretty unlikely. Really shouldn't go too much further to the upside. And I say high reward because, again, over a 90% downside potential. So as long as you're able to withstand some upside pressure here, you should be able to make some pretty fat gains here to the downside relatively easily. So I can't support going short at the current price, $1,100. And again, I would cover anywhere at $100 and lower. So pretty straightforward, guys. This definitely was a nuclear mother of all short squeezes, but it's finally starting to show weakness. looks like the momentum is cooling off and the squeeze is coming to an end. So if you want to go long, I would not do that, and I would not recommend that. That would be straight up FOMO, and you're going to get burned. It's actually a good time to take profits if you're still in this stock. Personally, I think it's going to pull back down to at least 100, probably even way more than that. So I don't like the current entry of $1,100, but I can't support going long at $100 and lower. Personally, I would set my buy orders to 12 and lower, and I think anything 12 and lower would be an excellent entry. And if you want to go short, looks like an excellent play right now. You missed a lot of downside already, but still a lot of downside to go. Again, this should pull back to at least 100, and from the current price of 1100, that would be over a 90% downside potential. Still some risk involved, because technically this is still squeezing, but you shouldn't have to worry about that too much. So I can't support going short at the current price, $1,100, and again, I would cover at 100 and lower. So sorry to everyone who lost money in the stock today, and good luck to everyone currently in the stock and to everyone looking to take a position. This is HKD AMTD Digital. Thanks everyone for watching today. I appreciate you guys. Please like the video, please subscribe, and catch me every weekday after market close on the Smarter Gambling Show. You apes already know, diamond hands to the moon. I'm Ty. This is Smarter Gambling. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.